Hi, I'm Joanne Poulin with Project Guru Design, and we're going to be looking at a project today that was finished in the last year, where Big Addition transformed the way that people live in this house on a day-to-day. So welcome to the entry with a much more spacious feel now, kept a window, brand new door, room for all the clothing and basically a mudroom feel a little bit, but keeping with the aesthetic of the house with a lot of warm woods and pared down finishes. You're going to see some black accents all the way through. They carried that to the door, which is the door to the garage. In the den slash great room, this is where we have a new fireplace, double-sided linear, and I'm actually standing at the wall that was the back of the house at the time, where we added this big kitchen addition with the center island that is the heart of their day-to-day lives now. To complete the aesthetic, which is again, linear, modern, but with a lot of warmth. The flooring that was existing in the family room at the time was extended into the kitchen, and some beautiful complementary cabinetry with slab door styles and drawers used with the black accents in the hardware, in the appliances, keeping everything airy and light, adding this ceiling feature that with skylights that keeps everything nice and bright. Can't talk about the kitchen without talking about the massive island, which has incredible storage, back-to-back cabinetry, and waterfall edges on both sides. This is all easy to care of quartz countertops. And again, even though we're using white finishes and black accents, we still have that feeling of warmth because we're using the wood cabinetry both in the tall cabinets and our bases. For this wall here, initially what was debated is whether we were going to do open shelves, but open shelves are a commitment sometimes and not as practical as what you would think. And they decided to just make those that storage disappear and feel just more of a light and airy feel by using the white contrast cabinetry. There is immense storage in this kitchen. A lot of drawers, which are always a great storage solution. The dishwasher is hidden behind a panel, so it's not the focus of this wall. New windows, again, were done with the black accents. After the addition was completed, the clients also added some landscaping so that now their indoor-outdoor feel is complete. There's a space that was intended as a pantry, but then with an added skylight, it's a simple and yet functional home office. Let's talk about some of the storage features in this kitchen. So this is an appliance garage, which has one of those door lift systems. So as you open the door, the panel moves away and then lands parallel to the cabinetry, giving lots of room for appliances that are tucked away. And in this area where really a workspace on the counter is not needed, this is a great way to tuck away things that you don't want to clutter your countertop with. So on this wall of appliances, where they're wall oven and speed oven, you have flanking tall cabinets. A lot of clients are choosing this either a combination or separate speed oven, which is basically going to combine the microwave function and the convection oven if you need it, with a wall oven. So that's a very common, it's a desired combination. A lot of people like that, the idea that that microwave is doesn't need a house somewhere else. We decided to create a little bit more of a separation between the spaces as we were bumping out and expanding the space over here. So a linear fireplace replaced the original wood burning fireplace, and the wall was closed here to give a little bit more of a separation, and yet leaving room for a place to sit, a place to chat, including the island seating, of course, but adding warmth to our space. When it comes to the experience on the living room side, it allows for gameplay and privacy so that you can have one activity happening on one side and still be able to have another happening on the living room side. So whenever we're designing a space where there's going to be a big feature island, placing the lighting is one of the key things, and also figuring out the right scale to complement the other design details that you have in the space. Our software in looking at things from above always helps to be able to do that. But basically, most of the time I'm going to be thinking of the pendants as accessory lighting, but I am interested in scale. I want to cover the surface as much as possible, and I want to make sure that anybody who's standing at the end of the island is not going to risk hitting their head on that pendant. I'm not that tall, but a tall guy, if the pendant is too close to the edge, that can become dangerous. For islands, we are going to need some electrical components. In this particular island, there are no appliances, but at the same time, when you're working on a space, you have to be able to provide electrical outlets. So in this situation, we basically decided to use some of the space that we had available in our linear footage for the island and place our outlets on the work side on either end. That way we still have all our storage available, and yet if I ever needed to work on something, I can put my appliance here. Let's say I have a blender or something, and I'll have easy access to electrical. So that's important when we're designing. So one of the key things about this project was to figure out how to tie in that addition that with the existing roof line, so that we could maximize the height, the feeling of height in the kitchen addition. And there is a difference in height between the peak of the ceiling here that we were able to achieve and where the ceiling height is in the rest of the house. We used the 3 skylights to emphasize that feeling of climbing up to that height, and it helped the feeling of, you know, the balance of the room and the spaciousness and the airiness of the space. So from my perspective in the design, that was one of the hardest things. So we're having a look from the outside as to what we did to the house. So basically right here is where the house ended originally. We did bump forward towards the hill a little bit with the kitchen addition. And really when we had this perspective before, we were looking at the back of the garage, and now the house continues, and it continues all the way to the front. Even from the outside, I think that this addition feels pretty seamless. I'm Joanne Poulin with Project Guru Design. I'm a certified kitchen and bath designer, and I help clients who want to redesign their spaces, maybe put an addition on, to create the life that they aspire to. I work with private clients, I work with contractors, and am able to produce the plans that will allow you to complete your project. Joanne Poulin, Project Guru Design.